In this lesson, you will learn the second most frequent thing that you'll be doing in the CRM, and that'll be creating a new profile, taking in a new up. However you want to phrase it, we're going to add a person into the CRM. To begin that process, I'll head up to my top toolbar, then I'll click on Add. That'll take us into our Add Prospect Wizard, where we'll begin by searching for our customer. The reason that we start with a search is to make sure that we're not duplicating profiles going into the CRM. When it comes to searching for your customer, you can put in whatever pieces of information you have to search by. You can fill in every single box if you like, but my recommendation will be to search by the first last name and the primary contact number. So we put in our three pieces, we'll head down to the bottom, we'll click on search. Don't look down, start up and to the right. The appointment board that we have here will display all appointments for your dealership for today. So this will be everyone's appointments. And you'll want to compare your customer to the folks that we see here and see if you run into any matches. If you run into a match on the appointment board and it's an appointment for someone else, you'll want to get that customer with their original salesperson. That's the right thing to do. If you run into a match on the appointment board and it's an appointment for you, you can mark them in the showroom from here by clicking the silhouette icon. That being said, I do want to go off topic a little bit. We'll also see an indicator for a new or used car customer. The first one here, Oliver, we can see that he is currently highlighted, indicating that he is currently late for his appointment. For Oliver here, that's not but by a couple minutes, so it may just be somebody caught up in traffic or something along those lines. But if it does go beyond that, you may want to go ahead and give that customer a call and either reconfirm or reschedule that appointment. Below that, I have Tamika, and she isn't late. We know that because she's not highlighted. But she does have a little blue spinning triangle next to her name, which indicates that her appointment's coming up within the next 4 hours, but she hasn't been confirmed yet. Once we've confirmed that our customer isn't any of the folks that we have on the appointment board, now we're going to head down into our search results and we're going to compare our customer to the folks that we see here and see if we run into any matches. The first thing that we'll pay attention to will be the percentage match column. Being that I searched 3 pieces of information, we're going to see one of 3 results. You may see here a 33% match. Now that is a 1 for 3 match. Typically, that's not going to be your customer. You may see here a 66% match. Now that is a 2 for 3 match. Finally, you may see here a 100% match. Now that will be a 3 for 3 match. Usually, that one's your customer. Now we can clearly see we don't have any matches for Cody here today. But for training purposes, we're going to pretend that we do have a few potentials. We'll need to get into a customer profile, and we can do that either by clicking on that customer's name or clicking on more info, both of which will open up that customer's profile where you can compare this information to the person that you're speaking with and see if they happen to be the same person. If we run into a match in this instance, there are 2 things that we can do. We can either reactivate a currently inactive profile, or we can add ourselves to an opportunity. And I want to start today talking about adding yourself to an opportunity. Let's suppose we run into a match, and it's a match for an active customer. Active customers are folks that are currently working with another salesperson. And in these instances, you'll want to get them with their original salesperson. However, we all know that sometimes that's not going to be possible. Maybe that salesperson's with another guest. Maybe it's even their day off. At which point, we're not going to tell that customer that they can't buy a car. We're going to help this customer out. And to do so, I'll use my action, add me. And if you're somebody who likes to write things down, write this down. A, add me, A, active. That means you've got an active customer. So we'll use add me to add ourselves to this deal. You'll click on add me. That'll add you to that deal. It'll let you do everything that you need to sell this customer a car deal. But we can see it's left Ivetta salesperson here as the primary rep on that deal. Once that deal is sold, you all will split the deal however the process at your dealership dictates. And keep in mind, only a member of management can change the primary on an opportunity. The second thing that we can do if we run into a match will be to reactivate a currently inactive profile. Inactive customers are folks who have a profile, but they're not currently working with anybody. This may be somebody who services with your dealership and this is their first time coming in to buy. It might be somebody who purchased several years ago. We can always recognize an inactive customer because they do not have the checkmark box in the In Showroom column. And in these instances, we have our action New Sales. Again, if you like to write things down, N New Sales, N Inactive. I know that one's a bit of a stretch, but what it means is that we've got an active customer, so we'll be using New Sales to create our new opportunity. We click on New Sales. That'll take us into an actual Add Edit Prospect page where we can edit the old information if necessary, add in the new opportunity information, and of course head down to the bottom and click on Save to create that new opportunity. But back to the real world, back to our real search, we can clearly see I don't have any matches here for Cody. So I'm going to use my action, No Match, Add New Sales Customer, and we're going to add Cody as a customer at our dealership. And that'll take us into an actual customer information page. Now, if your dealership uses our driver's license scan tool and you scan that customer's driver's license, the address information will populate here automatically, so you don't have to fill this out yourself. However, not all dealerships use our driver's license scan tool. That actually includes mine, so we're not going to do that today. Today, I'm going to add this in manually, and we'll begin that process by adding in a zip code. The reason that we start with a zip code is because when you add in your zip code, then click on the blue and white house. It will automatically populate the city, county, or parish, and state information, so you don't have to. Or if you have a zip code that has multiple areas in it, for instance, here in Niceville, I've got both Okaloosa and Walton counties. You can see it opens up a clarification window where we can select the proper area, and it will populate that information so that I'll know that I've got the correct information for taxing purposes if we are desking from the CRM. Next thing will be a primary contact number. Again, press tab, click away, or click on the little cell phone icon that we see here. It will automatically run a reverse phone lookup on that phone number. And here we can see it found and filled in extra information for me. In my case, that was an address. Now, the reason I want to do that reverse phone lookup first is because this isn't going to overwrite anything that we already have written. So if I already had an address here, even if the one that I have is wrong, this isn't going to overwrite it. And at that point, it's difficult to go back to that customer and say, hey, Mr. Cody, I think you gave me the wrong address. But now I have something that I can confirm. Now I can say, hey, Mr. Cody, do you still live at 7240 Barone Place? And if that customer says anything other than yes, we have the opportunity of saying, perfect, let me go ahead and get your new address so I can drop that information in. And we'll move along from there. Now, I'm actually going to go ahead and change the phone number that we have here, being that the one I was using is real. And we'll move on to our next piece, which will be the primary email address. Now, when it comes to collecting customer contact information, you're going to want to get 2 phone numbers and a primary email address. Having 2 phone numbers and a primary email address will increase your chances of selling this customer a car deal. Now, once you put in that primary email address, again, press tab or click away. The CRM will run a check on that email address. And here it's going to be looking for deliverability issues. You'll notice I got an error. This will typically indicate a typographical error within the domain of that email address, which we can go ahead and correct. Click away, and it reconfirms that address for us. Now I've got a green check mark letting me know that I've got good customer contact information. Next thing will be the vehicle of interest. Best, fastest, easiest way, add in a full stock number. But what if we have a customer that hasn't landed on a particular vehicle yet? Or maybe you walked out to get a stock number only to forget a few numbers on the way back to your desk. I'm not going to make you run back out to that vehicle. Instead, we'll be using our search tools. We'll find our vehicle search tool up at the top right-hand corner here. We'll click on search. And the great thing about this is that these metrics will accept partials. So partial stock numbers, partial VIN numbers, all just fine. Today, I'm going to find something new. So I'll uncheck my use box here. I'll find something by way of a fusion, so we'll type that in. We'll click on search in the top left-hand corner or hit enter on your keyboard, and it runs a search of your dealership's integrated inventory to find those vehicles that meet your criteria. In my case, these are all brand new fusions. So I can go in and find the one that suits my customer. This SE will do just fine. Click to select and it populates to my vehicle of interest fields here. Next thing will be our trade-in information. The best, fastest, easiest way to add a trade isn't going to be here at all. It'll be via the mobile application. If you've downloaded the FordDirect CRM mobile application, you'll sign in using the exact same single sign-on information that's used to sign into the desktop version of the CRM. Once you're signed in, you can find your customer, and in that customer's details in the mobile application, there will be a button that will say tap to add trade. All you'll need to do is scan the barcode on that VIN, and it will add it into the CRM. Sometimes you'll need to confirm trim. You'll also need to add in color and mileage. Now, if you do want to learn more about the mobile application or the VIN scan tool, I do recommend signing up for our mobile app class where we cover that in further detail. Last thing here will be our opportunity information. First thing here will be for members of personnel. The first one, of course, will be you, but you do have a place for 2 other folks helping you out, such as BDC agents, members of management, or other salespeople. The type will be the original up type of our customer. I've got 3 options here. A showroom up will be those folks that you meet physically here on the lot at your dealership. A phone up will be those folks that call in on your dealership's telephone. And a campaign up will be absolutely everybody else. We're going to select our customer as a phone up, and we'll move on to our next piece, which will be source. And this will be very important for you to ask questions, get answers. This will be all about how your customer heard about your dealership, and this will help your members of management make advertising decisions. We'll say that our customer had been on Google looking for local Ford dealerships, found our dealership, found our phone number. We're going to select them as source Google. Now, the last piece will be for comments, and comments will be the most important thing for you, because this is going to be what keeps you up on your deal in case you forget anything. And this is going to be what gets others caught up in case you've got somebody else helping you out, such as BDC agents, members of management, or other salespeople. So you all will want details here. Once you're happy with everything, we'll head down to the bottom. We'll click on save. Now we'll save that information and take us into that customer's newly minted opportunity details page, better known to you all as the customer profile.